I know this is one that I think we talked about a few months ago, but I don't know if we
No, we didn't. We didn't
went
talk about
live
the clip.
into it. But it was somebody throwing away $200 million for dabbling into the. And now I got to think about my words because of the algorithm.
Oh
You know,
man.
honestly,
For dabbling into youth.
We're talking about the baseball player.
that's great. we talking about.
Now, but there's gonna be some shit that came out of the R that will probably throw you off. But let's just quickly run
An
through this.
update this morning on Rays shortstop Wander Franco. According to reports in the Dominican Republic, the court has dismissed charges of money laundering and commercial sexual exploitation against the 22-year-old MLB All-Star. Franco still faces sexual abuse, abduction, and seduction of a minor. Now, the report adds the money laundering and commercial sexual exploitation charge that will now go to the mother of the girl that Franco is accused of having a relationship with. Franco is accused of sending around $17,000 a month to the girl's mom. Franco was released from jail yesterday. He can leave the country, but must return once a month to check in with authorities. Franco is still on administrative leave from Major League Baseball. An update.
That's crazy that they're only making him go once a month when he didn't even show up to the court date. The initial court date. They ended up having to go to his crib to arrest him because he didn't even go to that initial court date, and then he got bailed out in VR.
That's what ended up happening.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Now, so way more than that has happened, and
Well, I'm just talking about that one piece.
Yeah.
way more than that has happened. So I think, so I remember when we talked about this, I told you, yo, it sounds like they're trying to set him up. Especially if you don't know like how DR works, and it sounds
Oh,
weird,
yeah.
like viewing it from an American perspective to here. But the fact that they're putting the charges of money laundering, the pretty much selling a minor on the mom, should give you a big idea of what's happening under these circumstances. And not only that, there's some crazy shit happening where the mom, there's live videos of her drinking in a club. On a live video, somebody just asks in the comments for, oh, how's your daughter doing? So like somebody like in the comments when you're live and just, oh, my daughter, I don't know, she's with her boyfriend, the baseball player. You know, I no longer care about her. That she's already married, pretty much. She's with her doing her thing. Like she is saying this live on video.
And this little girl is, I believe, she's 13, 14, something like that. She's like
She's 15.
a kid. She's 15.
15.
She's 15.
Wow.
So it's one of these things, which is a weird thing. Like it sounds like they had a full blown relationship. It was like everybody knew that it was happening, and it sounds like the mom knew that might have been the one playing the role of, yo, this is happening. You better pay me off, or I'm gonna go out to the authorities.
Let me ask you a question. As somebody that you were born in DR, you go like kind of frequently or whatever. How normal is this? And what you've seen
Bro.
of girls that are 15 to 17 because they're still considered minors.
You
in
can even
America.
you can even go younger,
Let's say,
honestly.
okay, let's say 14 to 17 dating men that are 20.
Bro, the simplest thing you can do is if you
In
go
Dominican
to if you
Republic.
go to DR and just look at how many teenagers are giving birth, who's the dad to every single one of those kids? That should answer your question. Because it's not like most cases it's like a teenager having a kid from another teenager. So that's kind of like part of the culture that in a weird way sometimes doesn't get talked about. And it's something a little different because I think especially girls in DR, they are forced to grow much quicker. And part of it is they oftentimes pretend to be older also to get access to people, money, whatever you want to call it. It kind of puts you in this weird dilemma.
That is true. I actually met a girl who was 14. She was already she already had a child. I think it was like a year or two, something like that. And it was just I couldn't believe it. I'm looking at this girl. I'm like, yo, you look like a baby. Like, what are you doing with a child? And but her demeanor, the way she was carrying herself, talking, like she would carry herself like an adult. Mind you, she's not.
Bro, you
Like,
want
like you said, it's under talked about in DR, but that shit is really a part of like the culture.
That's
in
the
DR.
that's part of the culture.
It's
And
so nasty. Like,
it's
I'm
disgusting,
Dominican and I
bro.
love it, and like I'm very proud to be Dominican, but I think that's one of the like the worst, nastiest things about our culture. How normalized it is for like older men to date like real young women slash girl, like very young girls. I think that shit is crazy.
And the parents don't really do much too
Bro,
to
you want me
really
to blow your mind?
It's normal,
to change this.
I'm
They
gonna blow
a
your
lot
mind,
of
because I
times
think-
it's done for business too. Like
Think about it this way. So the girl that everything is happening to is 15. The mom is 28 years old.
oh my gosh, the mom is really 28.
Yo, I see that shit with Dominicans in America, bro. Where
Yo,
like,
wow, that says a lot.
Bro, just think about it. If the mom is 28, that means the mom likely had her when she was 13, 14.
13 or 14 years old, yeah. That's wild.
bro, I just seen that shit in America where it's like parents have daughters and their daughter might be 15, 16, still in high school, and then they'll leave their parents' house, go move in with a dude in America. Go move in with the dude that with a grown ass man, and then end up just staying with this dude, having kids with him, all this like all this kind of shit. And I'm like, and I've seen this shit more than once. Like I've seen this shit a few times, and it's been all Dominicans.
Really?
It's been all.
I mean,
I've seen it, and I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy.
I wouldn't even object that. I'd believe you.
That shit, I don't understand. I don't know why our like the culture is like that. And I think it's something that needs to really be changed.
It really is like it really is disgusting, bro. I don't understand why is it that it's a part of the culture
So it's
and
gotta-
why
no,
that's
so
not.
you got to be realistic, and I'm not defending this in any way, but I also want to acknowledge is like you got to keep in mind that there was a period in time where for a woman to leave her household, to leave the house of her dad, it was like, oh, if somebody comes and you're gonna be with this man, he needs to marry you and move you to some, like you got to go to your new house.
Or if they find out that you had sex with their daughter, like
That's
you
right.
have to take her now.
Like,
Like you
you're
have to
taking
marry
her.
her
Like,
now.
you're-
It's hilarious how you said that.
No, it's literally, but that's literally what.
That's literally what it is. It's crazy.
But it was just funny how you said it.
And not only that, if you don't do that, you go to jail. If you don't marry the daughter,
Yes.
they take you to jail.
Yes, and that was
But isn't
part.
that crazy how they take you to jail for that, but they're not taking people to jail for underage sexual activities? Like,
Well, that's a weird part of like because DR, and there was a lawyer that came out and they were chewing him up in DR because now most of the media is very Americanized, so part of the culture of America is blending into it now. But there was a lawyer, like an old school lawyer, that was like, "Yo, technically, if he wants to get out of this, all he needs to do is marry her." Because what will happen is, if you read the DR Constitution, what it does, you become an adult and a citizen at 18 years old, or if you're married prior to 18. So you're not considered a citizen until you're 18 of the country, so you cannot participate, like you cannot vote and so on. But there's a clause of the Constitution that says, or if you're married prior to the age of 18, then you're also, like, it's like almost an emancipation kind of a thing.
If they were closer in age, like if they were both, I think they grow probably.
I don't think this is acceptable. I think he was the user for sure. In
No,
this
no, for
scenario,
sure.
for
But
sure.
I'm saying, I think that if he was 17 and the girl's 15 and he moved her out of the crib, I like that whole law, that whole problem. I think that's something that's kind of good because it's just try to stop you from like just sleeping around with different people because it's a very like Christian and Catholic country. Or whatever. So I get that part of it, but
I just think it's baffling to me how you're okay to do that, right? But when it comes to underage relationships, that's not something that's frowned upon in DR.
It
That's
is.
not, it's not illegal. It don't seem like it because
No,
it's
like
such a
now
normal
it
thing in the
is.
country.
That's why they're going after him. Like that's why they're really going after. It's not
But
like
do
they
you
dropped
think-
most of the charges.
Do you think it's more so because America's going after him, and then that's when
Yeah.
DR?
America's not going after him
Oh, it's DR going after him.
because this isn't happen in America. So there's nothing that America could technically do other than what the MLB did.
Right,
Because
right,
the crime
right.
wasn't committed in America. But DR is going after him, one, because he's famous. So they want to make an example out of him. So it's kind of like show.
Yeah.
And there is something like if you go to DR and if you are a minor and you just so much as just say an adult try to be with me or was with me or force me or anything, they will automatically just lock you up and they're going to give you preemptive prison time, which is something that doesn't exist in America. So what they will do is, what happens is just that oftentimes these young girls and families, they shut up. They don't say anything because they're getting paid.
Yeah.
Because they're getting access to money.
Like I said, it's a business.
And you have that culture in the art that it's not only young girls, it's also women that they will date someone. It's like, oh, you're going to give me a new car. You're going to pay for an apartment and so on. Like the whole term chapeadora, like that's normal in DR. And if that's what you're hearing since you're a kid, and if you're a girl, what you're hearing is this is the way for me to get money. And every woman that you know that has their own apartment or have their own car, the way they get it is by being and sleeping with men. What do you think you're gonna start doing? You're gonna view this as, oh, this should be
a lifestyle.
This is what I do normally, and like I've seen it with my own eyes, like literally, like daughters of musicians in DR, like high end bachateros. Like if you would be like the top echelon of it, having kids by 60-year-old men just to get money, and it's not like she needs the money. Like there's stuff like that happening.
That's crazy. That literally makes no sense.
But that's kind of some shit that's happening here, like where you see like with the OnlyFans chicks. It's like it's something that's affecting the culture.
Yes, same exact thing. Because I think, and now OnlyFans is inserting itself into DR, but as I don't think it's too different here. Like now we're normalizing OnlyFans. In DR, they normalize get with an old man because they will have money, and they will supply you with a lifestyle you may want to have.
I think I'm saying in the way that's affecting girls, not because obviously it's different. We're talking about one thing is young girls and the other thing is on the internet. Just to make that clear, I just want to separate that. But so, and what do you guys think is going to happen to Wander Franco?
Oh, he's done. I don't think he's coming back to
Yeah,
the
his career is over.
You guys think he's out that movie?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
So
because he was too big of a name, and I think right now for him to come back, it's gonna be tough. And what you did, it's like one of the most frowned upon things you can do. Period. Now, do I think he's gonna go to jail? I honestly think he's probably gonna get a slap on the wrist, especially after so many people have come out that were involved in taking money from him for this to happen. So if this would have been something like the mom called it as soon as she found out, I think it would have been a very different story. But now that the mom is involved and that the mom is technically getting tougher charges than he is, it's kind of telling as to what was happening in this whole situation.
I mean, that's good. That's good because there's no free get out of jail free card on the opposite side. Like she's also getting reprimanded too for her actions and the
No,
things
that's what I mean. Like I don't know if it's one of these circumstances where either he was aware that she was a minor, I don't know, or he wasn't aware, and after he was in, they were like, "You already did it. Now you got to give us money, or we're gonna come out." And what I don't know. I have no idea.
all right, so let's say he knew and all that shit, right? And by Dominican law, what if he marries her? Do you think he can still make it back in the MLB if he marries her or no?
Hell no, because it's still gonna be looked at as frowned upon. Like it's like, yo, this guy literally married a minor just so he can save himself.
But I think he's married. So I don't know if that's technically gonna be.
Oh, he's married already.
I believe so.
This 15-year-old was the side chick.
Yeah.
Oh my.
But that's the part that the only thing that, and I don't know once again, and I don't think this is the case. This is why I think if he can prove that he was extorted, because that's the only other scenario that could potentially save him, is if in court it proves that for some reason he met her somewhere that you're supposed to be an adult and you can prove it, or you can prove that she lied about her age, and then you can truly prove, hey, the mom was asking me for this much money to keep quiet, maybe, because then you can kind of plead extortion. But honestly, with some of the photos that came out, some of the videos that came out, it looked like they were on like as if they were boyfriend and girlfriend, like back and forth, and it wasn't like a one-time scenario. They were like up and back, and they had videos and social media and so on. So I think it seems like they had some form of relationship. So honestly, I think he's gone.
See, fellas,
which I
man,
think he should be.
Fellas, y'all just gotta chill, man. Leave these women alone. Like, find yourself a good woman of age. Of age, and just chill, man, because what's the point of getting yourself in trouble for such stupidity and losing your whole career? Millions, I'm talking millions of dollars.
Now I'm gonna take a little bit of a tangent and go on a red pill attack right now.
Trying to hit all these chicks. 1%.
I'm gonna go on a red pill attack. It's funny because I hear so many people advocating to become a passport bro, and one of the places they're telling you to go is DR. And because you don't know the culture and you're not from there, most of these women are preying on you to go there because they know exactly where you're going there, and they're gonna play right into your hand, and they love for you to be simps, which is what most of you are that go to DR, especially if you go to Sosua. Because every girl that moves to Sosua, which is where, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about because that's where everybody goes, they're just finessing you. They're just there for the money and they're along for the ride. They know what they're in for. They know that they're at that point, they're and they know if I go through Americans, I'm getting dollars instead of pesos. And that's exactly what they're doing. So don't ever think you're gonna have a true relationship. Don't ever think they're gonna love you. Don't ever think you're really gonna.
Don't ever think it's gonna be real.
I don't think the passport bros are trying to save these chicks though. I don't think they're trying to move them in. And
No, bro, like they're advocating for go somewhere else and find
find a
yourself
wife.
somebody, and then have a wife that's more submissive or something from the
They're more they're more traditional. Well, more likely to be
Why
traditional.
would you try to marry a prostitute? If you go to another country and you meet women as you're out in another country, you're like traveling and whatever. Okay, cool, I get that part of it. But I'm not going to what's that place at the red light district trying to figure out like, oh yeah, which one is gonna be my wife? Like she gonna be my wife for the night, but then I gotta give her back.
Back,
Like,
right.
What are we talking about?
I don't think they're purposely going to marry a prostitute. I think they're going so that they can meet somebody that's submissive, like he said, or traditional enough.
And remember
But they
that.
can get caught up in marrying a hoe.
But remember that these girls know what they're doing. And
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you don't know where you're going. Like just going to that specific place, that discard every woman I can meet there. Period. Like automatically, if I was single, I'm like, if I meet somebody in Susu, that discards you from the list of being a potential in any kind of being serious ever in my life. Just if you live there. And that's the one place that everybody's going.
That's
So you're
crazy.
literally going to a tourist destination where everybody that's local that moves there for one purpose and one purpose only. And it is to finesse people like you going over there. And it is the same shit when you go to Colombia. And that's why it's always the same few towns, same few cities, same shit when you do it in Brazil. Like they know what they're doing. It's not like you're traveling and you're truly going into and immersing yourself in the culture to meet somebody who's comes from a good family and that is hardworking
Yeah.
and so on. Which if you do that, that's possibly happening, but that's not what a passport bro is doing.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is like you. I think I agree with you on that thing. But I think the passport bros are like, yo, we going to Sosua, we going to Medellin or wherever in these different places because we try to fuck the bad hoes in these places, like the bad prostitutes or whatever from these places. Like they look better than the prostitutes where we from.
And they're less maintenance.
I've never paid for pussy, but I'm just saying that's probably what they thinking is going through their mind.
I don't think that's what's happening, but all right.
That's what I've seen motherfuckers talk about. They be like, yo, I get the badass shorty that I'm used to seeing that be bartending in my favorite club that don't pay me no mind. I can get a bitch that look just like her in the same country that she's from.
Fellas,
That's what I be seeing.
listen, man. Just be very careful when you go to these places because these women can just smell the tourist in you, bro. From a mile away. They look at you. Once they hear you speak, oh, got him. That's a tourist right there.
No, and I'm not gonna
They
lie.
smell it on you. I promise you.
I'm Dominican. He said you gotta talk. I'm Dominican, bro. When I go to DR, I can speak Spanish. Like they just look at. I don't even gotta talk. They know I'm not from there.
Yeah, bro.
I don't gotta say nothing. Just then, like, oh, by your clothes, by your skin tone, the way you smell, I can just tell you're not from there. I'm like, how the
Yeah, you look different. Like, what?
Like, I look like, yo, what do you mean? I'm just a little like lighter.
They'd be like, nah, nah, you don't smell like it.
Real shit, it's completely different.
Oh man, be careful, fellas, because it's not worth it.